Hey, so I've been a bit quiet on the channel lately, but I have some announcements. I'm going to be doing interviews of horror films, interviewing their directors. In fact, I have one in a minute that we're going to film. The movie is The Temple, and I'm interviewing the director of that. So, a little bit nervous, but kind of keen for the opportunity. Should be fun. I expect him around any minute, so we've set up a nice little interview room with some chairs and stuff. So before we get started, I'll just show the setup of like what's going on. He'll be around in a minute, I'm sure.
Hello.
Sorry. Have you just popped in?
You left your door open, so I just made my way in. I know we had a meeting scheduled. I left my watch at the pool, but we had some kind of meeting scheduled for, was it 2 o'clock? What's the time now?
Oh, I thought it was 3, but no, that's cool. Hey,
Okay. Hi,
Mitch.
nice to meet you. I'm the director of this film, Temple. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not quite ready yet, but help yourself to some water and
I will. I'm the bigger one.
yeah.
You don't have any food by any chance, do you?
I guess I could make you something. What are you after?
Have spaghetti bolognese.
Are you sure this is okay? I mean, I know.
Well,
I just was quite hungry. Like the film's doing great. It's doing really well, but I'm just having to skip lunch.
right.
And,
Well, I mean that was going to be my lunch, but no, it's fine. I guess.
so I'm sure that they'll sort you out. They'll sort you out with a little per diem or something. You'll be fine.
Well, this is just my house and my fridge. Like this isn't a studio or anything, but.
Oh well. I mean,
Don't-
if you have a problem with it.
I mean, make yourself at home. It's fine. Yeah, I'll just set up and I'll just be a minute and we'll get started.
You sit, I'll sort this out.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
All
I
right.
said, the film's doing great. In
That's
cinemas.
good to hear.
Yeah, we're on Netflix.
Glad I asked.
Yep.
Look at this temple.
I have a friend. She's interested in temples and wants to start with this one.
This was not the start. This was the end. This temple, it will make you sick.
Very honored to be here with the director of the film, The Temple. How are you, Michael? Thanks for being here.
Good thing. Very good.
Why don't you start off by giving us a little synopsis of the film? Just, a couple of sentences, but no spoilers, because
No
some
spoilers.
of our fans probably haven't.
No, of course
seen
not. And we wouldn't want to deprive them of the ability to see this film for the first time and enjoy it as much as everyone else. The Temple is, in essence, about how people live their lives and how they go about living them. We take 3 guys, one of which is a woman, and they travel to Japan. And while in Japan, they walk around the streets. They meet people. They visit. They see the sights. They visit a bookstore. One of them films the other 2 having sex, and then they eventually find a spooky book. There's a dead kid. A little kid that they meet, and he tells them that there's the bookstore owner within the film that says you can't go to the temple. There's an old man that has a bunch of oranges, and the old man says something about a guy losing an eye at the temple, and then there was obviously a bunch of kids. We explore the ways that 3 people in Japan may find their way to a temple in the mountains. One of those ways may be to be led by a little boy with sharp teeth. Another way may be they meet a man with no eyes. These are just many ways, and then, in essence, when they get to the temple, which is the crux of the whole thing, they've walked through the bush. They've got a video camera they find on the ground. There's a statue with a fox head, and when they get there, there's jealousy, there's rivalry, there's the classic drama that we expect that in essence describes the human experience. There's a bunch of kids come through the floor, and then the guy, the boyfriend, I don't think you're meant to like him, he's a bit of a jealous type. He runs into the woods, and a fox lady thing with 2 heads kills him, which might be a spoiler, might not. I'm not sure. It depends on how you look at the film. And then later on, it turns out that the other guy did it all, or didn't. And yeah, but what was your take on it?
Well, thanks for the description.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure. My
You know,
pleasure.
obviously, there's a lot more to it than perhaps I noticed. Right. So, explain to me why there were 9 antagonists in this film.
Well, I'll counter that with a question of my own. How would you define what an antagonist is?
In horror movies, obviously, as you know, the antagonist would be a monster, a demon, a ghost, that kind of thing. All of which you have in your film.
That's exactly what I thought an antagonist was. And yes, we have numerous antagonists, much like in life.
So at the end, we have the broken leg guy, right?
Yes.
Who can't really walk. He had to slide down the stairs. It seems to imply that the woman was killed by the guy with the broken leg, though he couldn't move. And my question is, did the kids with the teeth tearing him to shreds... Well, it was himself tearing himself to shreds, wasn't it? Did that give him some kind of power to be able to move around so that he could get into the caves and then kill that woman?
Yes.
I guess my question is that, though you've established that the broken leg guy may have been the killer all along,
Yes.
we see the fox raping, was it, the man? And what I got from that is that the fox was the one that killed everyone. Was your intention to create multiple endings in the same film?
I think so. I think I wanted viewers to go away with a sense of what happened here. And through that sense of that question, that burning question, what happened here, realize that a lot of the times in life there aren't answers to what we wanted, and to evaluate their own lives and think, hey, you know what, maybe with this film, maybe I didn't get it, you know, because a lot of people I don't think did, and don't think will, and I don't think ever could. But at the end of the day, when they go home and they consider that, you know, they'll look around, they see the birds, they see the trees, and they think, what is life? And
What's the general feedback you've got from the film? Let me understand the hope or despair we have facing humanity ongoing.
Well, I mean, a lot of the Metacritic analyses on Rotten Tomatoes, they said it had a lot of potential at the start. They said it relied on a lot of tropes, so they could recognise the obvious themes of the film. If you tally up all the stars it's got heaps of stars. Each 1 star, each half star, they tally up, and it's a nice feeling to know that people in small ways appreciate your film. Money-wise, I mean, who's to say what artist really makes it early on in their career? Like I said, this is my first foray into directing, and as you
Alright, so like the sex scene, right? When the creepy dude is filming the woman having sex with the guy, like there's a light on the camera that was picked up. Like there's a fucking visible light on the camera, and this guy's filming a couple having sex. I mean,
well, people film each other having sex all the time, and no one complains about the lights on the cameras, do they? I mean, it's not something I hear people complain about. Who, you know, I just don't see what you're getting at, I suppose, with the critique of this particular one aspect of the film. I think you're letting it get into your head. You're letting it muddle up You're letting these base instincts overrule the art of the project, and the art was...
let me cut you off there. You created your own plot holes.
Exactly. All my own work. Dug them myself, out on set.
You dug your own plot holes on set. Look, you asked me what an
In
antagonist
a normal
was.
way. I will dig every plot hole myself.
Do you put into the budget for a shovel? What are you saying?
Yes.
A literal shovel to dig holes.
And the plot holes are dug hours before we shoot.
This film was incoherent drivel, and everyone is stupider for having seen it. What do you say to criticism like that?
I mean, there are certain things that I suppose fly in the face of congruity, of some people perhaps don't quite understand things that filmmakers, artists try, and I think.
All right. So what about the guy who sees the woman with the horns on her head and the no eyes?
Oh, terrifying.
He sees her.
Terrifying.
I'd use other adjectives, but he sees her and then he steps out a moment later after reacting into an alleyway, and there's people with baskets on their head, and he's more concerned by actual Japanese culture than he was by seeing a demon, and then he forgets about it and never mentions it to his friends. Like, does this not occur to you as an incongruity in your film? The whole fabric of the universe relies on there not being women with horns in their heads and no eyes scrounging through rubbish. You would have thought he would have some existential angst about having seen that. No.
And to counter that, what if you came out after seeing a horned lady with no eyes, and you see everyone suddenly wearing baskets on their heads? You're talking to me about existential crisis. What does one do in that situation?
Has anyone ever told you that they hate you? Maybe your parents or a partner? Has anyone ever?
Oh.
I don't know if that's an affirmation or... So they have.
I can't even.
What prescription are those glasses?
Oh, they're not even. I mean, I just bought it before, and they're kind of bothering me. I think. Oh, it's much better. I had a headache. It's funny. It's like seeing the world just as it is. It's. Sorry, what were you saying? You were saying something about it. Oh, Temple, the film I made. Yeah, heaps of people have told me they hate me. I think maybe if certain people perhaps took a closer look, perhaps they'd find a wellspring of meaning and craft.
Do you think I could possibly get a beer as well?
Sorry, this is my last one.
Okay, that's fine. I'll have my water.
I've got another question for you, actually.
Oh yes.
Just to change the tone a bit for the interview. I have a switchblade in my pocket. You or me, who dies?
Is it you?
Well, I would have thought that since I'm the one that's weaponized, that if you had have said that it was me and I held the knife, then it would be you. I think what we're going to do is let's maybe end this here, and I'll give you a generous 15 seconds to get the fuck out of my house. And if you ever make another film again, I'll fucking end your life. Stay away from horror films, or I'll bottle you, you selfish fucking wanker. Get out! Now! Get out! Get out! Get the fuck out of here, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck! Oh.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, keeps your neck warm while keeping your arms free. I just know that you've made a pretentious film.
Do they tuck them? Do they tuck them down? Because this is quite a long turtleneck. That's quite long.
Oh, God. You're fucking horrible. That's just... Ash. I mean, Michael.
Mise en scene. Mise en scene.
It's the classic drama that we expect that in essence describes the human experience. And then there's a guy and then there's a guy with a spear, and that guy and the other guy I'm sweating. It's such nonsense. It's such nonsense. I wish, like, this makes more sense in the film. Within the film that says, you know, you can't go to the temple. It's so hard
Fucking
to get
nonsense.
And nonsense. I just want it to be complete nonsense, eh? And then you have, there's an old man that has a bunch of oranges, and the old man says something about a guy losing an eye at the temple, and then there was obviously a bunch of kids.
I'm so sorry. It's fucking insane.
Throw a double-headed fox woman into the mix, you know, it's like throw her and throw a monk with a spear, throw a bunch of kids. I can't get any of this out, like I'm not prepared for it. To try that one again.
But at the end of the day, when they go home and they consider that, you know, they'll look around, they see the birds, they see the trees, and they think, what is life? And
You're fucking horrible.
it's the worst guy, eh? Oh my god. Could you explain to me what an antagonist is?
The fact that life is short, that life is brief, that life is jam-packed with meaning and horror. Jam-packed with meaning and horror.
Profound.
Yeah.
Let me cut you off there. You created your own plot holes.
Exactly. All my own work. Dug them myself out on set.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh man. Might be a spoiler, might not. I'm not sure. It depends on how you look at the film. And then later on, it turns out that the other guy did. It turns out the other guy did it all, or didn't. They walk around the streets. They meet people. They go to a bookstore. One of them films. The other two having. I get a little thing.
I'm not quite ready yet, but help yourself to some water and...
I will. I'm the bigger one.
Yeah. I guess I could make you something. What are you after?
Maybe spaghetti bolognese. So we explore the ways in which three people might make their way to a temple in the woods in Japan. Those ways may include meeting a guy. We're ready.
It's fucking terrible.
Kind of bothering me, I think. Oh, it's much better. I had a headache.
Oh, that's brilliant.
You're saying something about it. Oh, Temple, the film I made. Yeah, heaps of people have told me they hate me.